Hello and welcome to A Slice of Pie, the semi-weekly news show that we do on this channel. And this week surely was an interesting one. AMD actually lifted the curtain off of RDNA 2. No more do we have to speculate about it being twice as powerful. No more do we have to speculate that it has ray tracing, both of which are confirmed. In fact, actually, RDNA 2 appears to be the high-end GPUs that we've always wanted from Navi. Not only that, but AMD is doing something that I actually said that they should do almost a year ago, where I said that they should actually split their gaming and productivity lines into two separate cards. So in a way, Vega lives. Sort of. Not only that, but it looks like they're actually changing the design of their reference cooler. No more are we going to have those blower style. No, this actually looks very much like a NVIDIA's Founders Edition style card. We can very clearly see two fan-sized holes, and it definitely looks like we're gonna get one of those twin coolers, not unlike the NVIDIA variant. And the best part about all of this is that it's going to be coming out this year. We are going to see RDNA 2 parts this year, although only on the high end. We are going to see a Navi refresh, which I'm going to guess fixes some of the issues or is just a priced down version of some of our Navi parts. We're also going to see the new CDNA cards, which are actually the productivity focused ones. And now, depending on the price, I might actually try to get all three. Again, if I'm not going to break the bank doing it, I might as well test all of them since, yeah. I'm actually most excited about the CDNA because if it's much like Vega in the sense that it's designed for productivity, I wonder if it actually will improve render times. Seasonic is releasing a power supply that I want. I honestly want it. It has a built-in cable management bar, meaning all of your cables actually come from the cable management bar to your PC. So the bar to the PSU, and then, yeah, it looks like magic. It's amazing. The case that they showed it off in is the Define S2. Like the picture is quite literally a Define S2, and my biggest issue with the Define S2 was cable management. So it looks so awesome. I do want it. 2 weeks ago, we talked about Phantex's sister company releasing an O11 dynamic clone. But I think I got to the bottom of it. You see, honestly, I think that there is a case OEM that is now selling O11 dynamic-like cases because I found another company I've never heard of, which is why I'm reading its name, Techware? Never heard of this case manufacturer, but they too have an O11 dynamic clone. That being said, I actually like their clone more because it looks like a combination between a Corsair Crystal series case where it has the external knobs to like attach the pieces and an O11 dynamic. I actually think that theirs has a different look that at least makes it look like they're not trying to 100% rip it off and instead just rip off the internal layout. Either way, my guess is that there is now a case OEM that is currently making this case, and that's why we're starting to see a lot of clones of it. We're getting another Polaris card. Well, we are. China is. AMD is releasing another Polaris refresh card, but specifically for Chinese markets. This card is probably not going to make it stateside, but I can expect someone like Gamers Nexus to probably get a hold of it just to test it because that's something they would do. Wonderful 101 reached its $2 million stretch goal, meaning everything on that Kickstarter is going to happen. Now, Platinum does have a really good track record, and I kind of look forward to playing it on my PC. I had it on the Wii U, and it was cool, but I actually thought that the control scheme took a little bit away from the game. So I do really wonder how they're going to port it to the PC, and if the PC version is going to be superior. I kind of am hoping for that because it really is like a cool art style. I wouldn't consider myself a huge fan of the game because it was like Pikmin plus My Hero Academia almost, even though My Hero actually came afterward. Digressing a little bit, Beautiful Joe. It's more like Beautiful Joe mixed with My Hero Academia and then Pikmin. Point is, it's a cool game. I do look forward to actually seeing it on the PC, where I will be playing it probably at some point. Mario Kart Tour is finally getting its multiplayer. That multiplayer has been teased since the launch of the game. It's yet to be seen how good it actually is, but if it's like anything else in the game, it's going to be mediocre at best. Borderlands 3 is getting a new piece of DLC. This one is Love, Guns, and Tentacles. I mean, that's a pretty awesome title all in its own, but it's actually going to center around the marriage of two of the game's essential NPCs. Winright Jacobs, I had to remember his name, and Hammerlock, which most of you guys may have known if you even haven't played the third game and only played the second. Either way, their marriage is going to be going off with a pretty spectacular display of what looks to be mutated creatures trying to attack. I don't know the premise of the DLC, but it looks quite dark and spooky, sticking to the theme of almost every single Jacobs piece of DLC in all of the Borderlands games. NZXT has released a new mini ITX case that comes with a PSU and a liquid cooler. And it has a very familiar form factor. In fact, it looks very similar to the Xbox Series X. Peculiar. Well, the funny thing is, NZXT did show this case off to the press before the Series X was announced. So it's not that they copied it. In fact, they were already working on it, and I'm sure Xbox was already working on the Series X. That's just two similar ideas converging into probably a really good thing for NZXT, as now they can make the thing like, hey, we've got the case to make your own Series X, and I've already seen at least 2 YouTube videos of people doing it. So yeah, it's a pretty cool case. It is kind of expensive at $300, but you are getting a PSU and a liquid cooler and a case. It's still a little pricey, but if you know anything about that form factor, you can really spend a lot of money on just the case alone. Gforce now, it has become kind of an interesting battleground. You see, the argument from the gamer's perspective, like myself, is I own the games. If I'm asking the video servers to render them, then it should be fine. But the game devs don't necessarily see it that way. And because of the sheer volume of game devs that are currently taking their games off the platform, I am starting to wonder if maybe everything's not so hunky-dory behind the scenes here. You see, it started with Activision Blizzard taking their games off. Then it went to Bethesda. Then we had some indie devs. And now 2K Games. Now, 2K Games has a lot under its umbrella. Bethesda has a lot under its umbrella. I think it's Bethesda ZeniMax, actually. And then Activision has a lot under its umbrella. Essentially, it's leaving very few games to actually run on the platform. And it's actually kind of confusing. Why is what should be a free software being gimped by all these game devs? Honestly, it's still a developing situation and we don't know very much about it, but if I had to guess, there's either a profit motive or, and this is kind of where speculation comes in, the behind the scenes work to get these games to run properly might actually kind of be screwing these developers. It's unknown how this is all working because we can't see it. We just know magic button press and game happens. Like, this is our side. But if I had to guess, they're using virtual machines and virtual copies of games, probably, maybe. And then NVIDIA essentially doesn't own enough licenses of those games, but then they're using laws that say you can transfer licenses, essentially. But then that kind of brings things into a shady gray area, so I'm not 100% sure where and why this is happening, but I can see kind of where it would happen. Like, if for some reason NVIDIA is essentially cloning licenses, that could be a problem. And if the game devs are essentially going, well, NVIDIA, you should pay us enough to have the licenses for the games, like Stadia or something like that, then maybe that's the problem. There's a lot of potential problems, but the number of publishers pulling out means that there's probably going to be very little on Gforce now for the foreseeable future. All right, sorry to add on a sad note. Let's actually then just really quickly wrap up with some channel stuff because yeah, we got some stuff coming at you. Monday, we're gonna go ahead and test AMD's new drivers. It's a follow-up video to the fixing AMD's broken drivers video that you guys loved. So honestly, I'm glad I was able to help so many of you guys. We're gonna do a follow-up. I'm gonna specifically, as soon as this video is up, test the drivers. I'm gonna download them. I'm going to do them as a rough install, so updating them, and then I'm going to do them as a clean install, and I'm going to intentionally try to break them. Essentially, I'm going to do my best to test them thoroughly. I'll let you guys know. And then also at the end of that video, I intend to answer some of your questions that you had in the comments in hopes to help as many people as possible. We are finishing up Black Cherry Part 2. I have all of the stuffs. I got like this carbon fiber-y stuff to mod the fractal design thing. I've got these G's for Gamer Guts' PC. Essentially, I've got the stuff. I just need to find time to do it. Hopefully, I can also get that done this weekend. And then of course, also I have to go out and shoot a couple more scenes for the Let's Make a Game type series thing. But once that's done, I will be giving you guys an update and telling you when that drops. So essentially, a lot of stuff is happening, a lot of stuff is wrapping, and yeah, thank you guys for watching. Wolfie out.